Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And hopefully I won't go too much in and out of saturation because I got the black background and I got the black top, and that tends to kind of set it off. For all of my YouTube whatevers, I have not perfected lighting, and I'm not entirely sure what all that entails because I see some people, I'm like, your lighting looks the bomb diggity. What am I not doing right? But bad lighting or not, sometimes when I think lighting looks bad, when I go into editing, I'm like, what was I worried about? That looks fine. Because for some reason I seem to demand perfection from myself. But today we are going to be doing a beauty tag video. I haven't done a huge amount of these. I definitely want to do more because I think that they're a lot of fun. They kind of add another layer to just the everyday content that I'm trying to do right now. So you may end up seeing more tag videos, and if there are any tag videos that you think that I would like to do or you'd like to see me do, definitely leave them down below because I'm open to all that kind of shiz. And the tag video that we're going to be doing today is the 21 questions makeup edition tag by Allie Glines. I will leave her correlating video on her channel down below. Always like to give credit where credit is due. And it's just 21 questions, all kinds of beauty related. So let's just get on right into it. Feel free to answer some of these down below. I love hearing y'all talking about your makeup experiences. So, the first question, what is the oldest makeup product in your collection? Now, this question came out and kind of beat me up and dragged me out because if any of you have been with me for an extended period of time, y'all will know that there are some makeup products that have been with me for an extended period of time. I'm thinking like blushes, I'm thinking some highlighters, the Milani Rose blushes. I've had those since before David and I got married, so that's at least 5 years old. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got some shiz from like the start of my channel. I'm not sure if I could pinpoint the exact oldest product in my collection because I have decluttered a fair amount as well. I'm not entirely sure, but y'all can rest assured that I do have products that are really, really old in my collection that I probably need to see if they still perform, because if they don't, they need to go. What is your most recent makeup purchase? My most recent makeup purchases were the two unveiled Midas Cosmetics palettes and the ColourPop Fall Into Hue palette. I got those specifically for reviews on the channel. Y'all know that with 2021, I'm not low buy. And so I'm not like buying a lot of blush, a lot of whatever, a lot of that kind of thing. I did buy those, like I said, for reviews. So that would be the most recent purchase of mine. The ColourPop Fall Into Hue and the Midas Cosmetics Unveiled. Not sure if the reviews will be up now or later, but if not, stay tuned. What is the first makeup product you ever used? I mean, for my own self or like someone using it on me? I'm gonna go with my own self. I mean, thinking back before I knew that makeup was gonna be part of my just part of my daily transformation, part of expressing who I am as a person. I mean, I remember using awful Wet n Wild like cream eyeshadow. We're talking sponge tip applicator, Wet n Wild cream eyeshadows, just fill that whole lid in. Nothing on the lower lash line, no mascara, no liner, just whoosh. And the funny thing is, one of my favorite colors was green. And I mean, this was when I was like 15, 16. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until I was 16. I went to my first like prom thing, and we had a lady I babysat for, and she was like a professional hair person. She did my hair, she did my makeup, and so maybe some of that. I remember she bought me this product doesn't even exist anymore. It was a Physicians Formula, like it was like a color brick thing going on, and it was like a perfecting powder. I used that for years. Some of you may even remember that. Like if we go back into my declutters and like my products, it may have still been there. So it's kind of just like, because I wasn't allowed to use makeup, I guess like eyeshadow maybe was the first thing I used. I remember having a black liquid liner that I did up to like my eyebrow for Halloween one time, but I secretly did it, and I told my mom, and I was like, Mom, I need this for my Halloween costume, when in reality I was like, black eyeliner, the emo in me is going to live their best life. What is a makeup trend that you used to love but now hate? I mean, I gotta admit, when it comes to my makeup, I don't really pay attention to like trends. Like, I'm not looking at the Instagram people doing the eyebrows and doing the wiggly eyebrows and the weird wiggly lips. You know, I'm just not really doing that. So I don't ever really have a trend that I'm like, ah, yes, I love that. You know, because I don't know any trends because I'm old and boring. I'm trying to think, what is a trend that I used to love that I hate? What is a makeup trend that you used to hate but now love? Probably, if we're going like trendy, it's like overlining my lips, even though I like never do it because I suck at it. But I have very thin, little, non-puffy, delicious Angelina Jolie lips. You know, I have thin lips. I remember being in biology class with my best friend at the time, and this was like, I was like, I don't even know, like probably not even 21 yet. And we were doing the little chart, the genetics thing, and you know, what kind of kids are you gonna have? What are they gonna look like? And I remember my biology teacher, she was this sweet little Indian lady. Me and my best friend who had very full lips, and she was like, they're like full lips, and they're writing out the chart, and I looked at her and I was like,
I have full lips, right?
and she just looked at me and was all like,
No, Saraya, you have thin lips.
I was absolutely devastated. But she spoke the truth. What is your favorite step in your makeup routine? I mean, skincare, but if we're talking about applying makeup, definitely eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is where I let my creative whatevernesses go. And typically I go in and I'm like, I have an idea. There are some times where I'm just like, we'll just see where this goes. Y'all know I like to color coordinate and all that shiz. But eyeshadow is really where I can get all kinds of artistic and all kinds of, we're doing green, we're doing blue, we're doing pink, we're doing purple, red, yellow. Because that's really kind of, I feel like, I remember growing up, it was like, don't wear a bold eye and have a bold lip. You know, in my mind, I'm like, why not have both? If one is good, two is even better. So definitely eyeshadow. That's just really, I love, you look at a good eyeshadow layout and you're like, that is gonna F me up. I mean, I love the whole process and everything, just like the whole thing together, but eyeshadow is definitely, it's my favorite in the sense of like creativity, my favorite in the sense of like, that is, I feel like, a lot of my focal point when I do my own makeup. It can be really, really frustrating. Y'all know your girl is dealing with like, I don't know, dryness, patchiness, this little section of my eye that just wants to mess with me. So it can be really, really frustrating when my eyeshadow doesn't do what I want it to do, when the pigments do not behave. But if everything goes well, definitely my favorite part, just because it's so much fun. What is a makeup product you can't live without? Highlighter! Y'all know your girl loves the highlighter. I think I have like over 300 highlighters now. So I have just a few. I like the glorious sheeniness. I mean, you can see that shiz right off my nose. That is what I live for. And I'm like, it's funny because like highlighter, I really love. I'm not the type of person, like I typically don't do brows like this if I'm not like made up. I'm not someone who's gonna do like just eyeshadow without foundation or just highlighter and blush without foundation. Very rarely do I do kind of like non-complete makeup. Sometimes I'll do like a little bit of the Natasha Denona Blush and Bloom, a little bit of here, a little bit of, but typically I'm not going anywhere with like half a face or part of a face or one product without another product. I don't know, I'm weird, but definitely highlighter. I would die without that shimmery, shiny goodness. What sparked your love for makeup? Honestly, when it comes to makeup, like I started out, I mean, I kind of toyed with it in my teens, and then I was really into cosplay and anime and kind of like those, like we're talking like 2014 through like 2004 through like 2010. I was very big into being I want to be one of those like tutorial girls that has like the big like anime kind of that kind of dolly girl makeup. You know, for a while I was really obsessed with being like an alternative model. I wanted to be a living doll, you know, so I kind of did my makeup that way. But then when I started wearing wigs in a non-cosplay related way, and I was just doing them every day, that's kind of when my makeup then started to evolve. So it was really kind of just me finding another way to express myself that really sparked my love for makeup in a way that I applied it to me. Because I used to wear makeup, it was like I have to make myself look pretty. Whereas now, I know I'm absolutely fan-tucking-fastic. I don't need no makeup to make me look pretty. What I use my makeup for, it's an artistic way for me to express myself. It's the same as my clothes and everything like that. It's something that I use to turn myself into my ultimate version of me. So I think finding that out and having that kind of be a thing in my life is where I was like, oh, I see this. The power of the face pigments. And it really kind of all happened. Well, not all happened, but it kind of started just like my fashion style, my makeup, you know, my aesthetics, you know, kind of everything like that kind of came together, like evolved together. And there was a while there where I was using like eyeshadow and makeup. Like if I think back, I will literally look at pictures of me and look at makeup looks that I did like 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I'll be like, how did I do that? Because y'all know back in the day, I was like, I will take a shimmer and I will do gradation in my crease with shimmers. That used to be like, that used to be part of how I rated shimmers. I was like, if they can't layer over top of each other and they can't play well together, I don't like those shimmers. Whereas now I'm a all matte lover. I love shimmers, I really do. But the backbone of eyeshadow is built on mattes. So I guess it just sort of grew and developed through the years. You know, I'm not exactly sure what initially sparked it. It was just kind of a gradual evolution of falling in love with makeup. It wasn't one moment where I was like, oh, yes, I'm gonna have 100 eyeshadow palettes in the next couple of years. What is the worst makeup look you've ever done? I mean, anything circa the time period that I shaved off my eyebrows and was drawing them on. I mean, I would just have like a whoo, like I wasn't even trying. I would just take like friggin' eyeliner and just whoo. I mean, and that was also when I wanted to be like super edgy and alternative and creative. So I was really trying hard to mimic Adora Brat, Victoria Lovelace, kind of like everyone in that sort of scene. Eventually I realized that shiz was not for me. But yeah, I will find, and I'll scroll through my pictures and I'll see what I can think of as being the worst look, and I will insert it here. Because there were some looks that I look back and I was like, oh, you thought you was cute. You know, there's some that I'm like, oh yeah, you did pretty good for the time and your inexperience, but then there are others where I'm like, why did you think that was an okay idea? And back in the day, I would always put on false lashes. Every time I did my makeup, it was false lashes. So I'd have like this mediocre eye look and then like these huge giant lashes, and I'm like, why did you put lashes on that look? It's not helping. What is your favorite makeup look you've ever done? That one is a little bit harder because I have some looks where I'm like, whew, you are a gorgeous queen. When I do my makeup and it comes out looking really good, I'd go up to my husband and be like, you are married to the hottest chick in the world. Your wife is smoking. There are a couple that come to mind. I've got a blue look that I did a while ago that is still, I will look at those pictures and be like, what happened? What happened to your selfie taking ability? Because I used to take the most bomb diggity selfies. My selfies used to get like over 1,000 likes on Instagram, whereas now I'm lucky if I break like 300. Once again, kind of same with the worst one. I will put up pictures of some of my favorite looks. We'll see because, you know, I know there's some green ones that I've absolutely loved. We've got that blue one. I love my purple and green looks. I'll come up with some things and I'll insert the pictures here. What is your favorite drugstore makeup product? I feel like this goes without saying. The Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation, which I am wearing on my absolutely gorgeous and radiant complexion today. 9 times out of 10, that is the foundation that I am wearing. It works absolutely beautifully with my skin. It is a foundation that I have repurchased at least 6 times. What is your favorite Splurge makeup product? Ooh, I'm like, do I want to go with a highlighter? Do I want to go with a blush? Do I want to go with an eyeshadow? My favorite Splurge item, if we're just going by price point alone, my Viseart Grand Pro 3. Y'all probably saw that coming. It was like $170 something. It is one of my favorite end all be all palettes. Say what you will about them being overpriced, which they are, but the quality is so good on that palette. I ended up buying, it was on sale, the last order that I ever made on Sephora that I'm probably ever gonna make on Sephora was the Grand Pro 1, which was the other all matte one. There's an all shimmer one that I'm like, yeah, I want to have it for the sake of having it, but I also don't want to spend over $100 on a palette of shimmers. Palette of mattes I can get down with, but a whole big giant palette of shimmers, I'm like, it'd be so great because I could take all, 1 through 3 and have everything that I need. And at the same time, I'm like, if I travel with all 3 and they all 3 break, I'm going to have a conniption fit. What is your most repurchased makeup product? Now, this is probably tied between the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation and the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Y'all know I got that primer when it came out, and it has become my end-all be-all holy grail primer. 10 times out of 10, I'm using that primer. Like, I haven't used a different primer on my face since I just very, very rarely do I change up primers. Back in the day, I used to be like, oh, I use this primer this day, this primer that day. And now that I know what I like in my makeup and I know what works for me, I rarely stray from that. I'm like, I'm going to use what I know. I'm going to use what I love. No point in destroying a good thing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Love Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Like I said, it's between those two. I would have to see. I've had a couple different empties with those in it, but definitely those. Absolutely love. I love that primer. Once again, that's what I'm using today. It works. I love that shiz. What is your earliest makeup memory? I think I've talked about this before, but my earliest makeup memory is being in the bathroom. My grandmother has me right up on the sink and she's attacking me with this red lipstick. And I remember thinking, why are we putting me red lipstick on? Where are we going? That's so fancy that I need to put red lipstick. This lady is crazy. Get it out of my face. I was kind of not into it, and this was my grandmother Mim, the one who's passed away recently. She's a very insistent and persistent woman, and she was going to get that lipstick on my 4-year-old lips one way or another. Like, I don't know why. I couldn't tell you context. I couldn't tell you where we were going, but for some reason, that specific memory was burned into my brain. What is your favorite place to shop for makeup? I mean, everywhere. I'm probably more partial to Ulta than I am Sephora at this point, just because Sephora's point system sucks. I unloaded quite a few of my Sephora points when they had that Dr. Brandt, the micropore dermabrasion. I checked in, I don't know how many points to get 2 of those, because I'm like, I'm not going to be using these points for anything else. I'm not getting no little samples, so I might as well get something that I would have purchased anyway. I joked to my mom because I can't remember how many points you had to clock in for it, but I was like, Mom, this is a however much money face scrub. Mom was like, why is it so expensive? I'm like, it not really is. I mean, it is expensive, but it was just like how many points I used, that's, $1 a point. So I was like, this is like an $800 face scrub. I mean, Sephora's point system just sucks. So probably Ulta. I mean, y'all know that I'm really on like an indie kick right now, which the majority of indie companies, you have to go to their site. They're not sold in Sephora or Ulta. Black Moon Cosmetics was in Ulta for a little while, and then when I actually wanted to buy something from them, they were gone. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but I mean, I don't have one favorite place to shop. It's just kind of, I go where I want to go, and I go where I think the product is. I definitely say that I prefer Ulta to Sephora just because of the variety and the fact that you can get high-end as well as drugstore. I find that exceptionally appealing. What is the most underrated overrated makeup product you own. I've done a couple videos on this. We've done like underrated eyeshadow palettes, underrated blushes, underrated highlighters. The most underrated, oh my goodness. I'm gonna go with, not entirely sure this is a completely underrated product, but it's something that I don't see a lot of people talking about when it comes to this company. And believe it or not, that's going to be the Kylie Cosmetics blushes, because I love those blushes. I bought them because they were on sale at Ulta for like $10 a piece, and I said, woo, there is very little I love more than buying compact blushes and highlighters that I don't need. I bought almost the full range. I'm missing one, and they're just so good. They're like the perfect, if you're trying to introduce somebody to blush and they're not like if we're doing a little bit higher than drugstore pricing, would highly recommend those because they're a beautiful level of pigmented, but not too pigmented. They build up beautifully. They look really nice on the skin. I mean, I was 110%. I bought those and I'm like, I paid $10 for them. They're gonna suck and Kylie's lame, but she may be lame, but the highlighter and the blush formula, but those blushes, even that dark one that she had still ends up looking so beautiful on the skin. Airbrush, flushed, natural, beautiful. Highly recommend them. Like, I bought them on sale, but after trying them out, I think they are completely worth the full price. I think they're like $18. Like I said, recommend. What is the most overrated makeup product you own? I mean, typically when it comes to makeup that's like overrated or not very good, I end up decluttering it. I would have to say probably my Naked Heat. Not because like the Naked Heat is overrated, but just kind of the whole Naked palette thing. I think all the Naked palettes are overrated. They're just riding on a name at this point. I don't think they're worth the $54 that people are charging for them. Urban Decay doesn't have the best formula out there, and they're just, it's kind of compared to so many other palettes I've had. It's just sort of mediocre. You know, it's not high-end quality, I feel. It's not drugstore, but it's not like the quality I get from Urban Decay. I've got Sydney Grace, I've got Midas Cosmetics, I got ColourPop, for Pete's sake. I've got so many other things that just make this kind of like sad and nowhere near as like good or whatever. It's just, I look at it and I'm like, I have you because, you know, I think I may use you, not because your formula blows me away or I think you're a very interesting color story. What is a discontinued makeup product you wish would come back? I mean, we've got the Too Faced Tutti Frutti blushes. I'm very, very, very salty and upset about that. Oh, we've got the Too Faced Love Flush blushes. I'm upset about that. We've got the KVD Mi Vida Loca Remix palette, although that was limited edition, so discontinuation is, you know, kind of a given. CoverGirl had these lip lavas way back in the day that I absolutely loved. They were amazing. They were fluorescent, absolutely stunning. Those are long gone. Where do you go for makeup inspiration? In all honesty, like for me, it's not just about like makeup for me. It's not like, oh, I'm just doing a green look or I'm doing a whatever. It's like the whole image, like the whole aesthetic that I'm trying to come across. So certain music, I love when I'm feeling like really artistically parched, I will watch RuPaul's Drag Race just because there's so much aesthetic and beauty and inspiration in that show, not just from their makeup, but from the whole presence. Like very rarely will I go onto YouTube and be like, makeup tutorial. I used to do that. I'd be like pink tutorial, purple tutorial, whereas now I go for sort of, you know, like movies and TV shows and music. You know, I reach for my inspiration in kind of like every other aspect of my life. Because for me, it's like not just the face. It's like the face, the hair, the jewelry, the clothing, the wig, the whole 9 yards. So definitely, absolutely, definitely RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, there's just so much iconic talent on that show. It's very easy to get inspired, especially, you know, if I'm looking for something monochromatic or I want to be like, oh wow, that's an amazing color pairing. I have gotten many of an ensemble inspiration from that show. What do you hope to see less of in makeup's future? I would like to see less makeup. I would like to see companies pull themselves back a little bit and kind of not continue to oversaturate the market like they've been. If you don't know then, you know now. If there's one thing I despise, it is consistent, constant oversaturation. I'm so done. There is very little that gets me as hot and bothered as seeing ColourPop release a huge collection every other week. Like, it's literally just... it causes me so much agita. I think I did a Snapchat where I'm like, I'm just minding my own business, and ColourPop has the audacity to release another collection, let alone another palette or another collection. I mean, in my makeup journey transformation, I've come to despise. So what I want to see less of in makeup's future is less makeup. I just want to see less shiz being released. Let's focus on creating well-curated, well-thought-out, you know, smaller collections, you know, release a couple things a year, you know? I just want a focus on the things that matters, not focusing on just completely just releasing as much as we can. What do you hope to see more of in makeup's future? I'm like, are we talking about makeup? Are we talking about the community? I mean, I would like to see like more acceptance and understanding, because I feel like a lot of the makeup community can get kind of nasty and rude to each other if, like, you know, like makeup shaming and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's makeup, people. You know, there is no right or wrong way to wear makeup. If you want to have eyebrows this thick and you feel like you fly as all get out, who am I to tell you you're not, you know? If you ask me for advice and I could be like, yeah, maybe they would frame your face a little bit better if they were a smidge smaller, but I mean, like I say, you do you, boo-boo. You know, I am definitely not one to judge, you know, out here with the green eyeshadow up to my eyebrows and the green nails and the green hair and the green outfit. You know, I just, it's not my place. So kind of in the sense of more, I just want to see more betterness, a better place, a better spot on this platform, you know? I want to see less makeup releases. I want to see more positivity. I want to see more realness. I mean, that's just me. I'm sitting here thinking about this all like, why can't we be friends sort of situation? So I could just be shooting one into the dark. I don't know. What would y'all like to see more of? Maybe I didn't understand the question entirely, and maybe I'm dumb. I feel like the last couple of months, I have definitely murdered quite a few brain cells, but this is where we are. So I guess that's it. And that is all the questions for this tag. Like I said, I really enjoy doing tag videos. They're just really fun. They get you thinking, and it kind of does take makeup from a more face value and goes a little bit deeper. And y'all know your girl is a fan of going deeper. If I can't psychoanalyze it, I don't want it. Because there is a side of me that's like, ooh, pretty makeup eyeshadow palette, and there's a side of me that's like, this company's stupid, let's tear out a new one. I'm a consumer, and it is my right to say my piece on whatever I would like to. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely feel free to answer some of the questions below. Feel free to leave, you know, tag videos or video ideas for me down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!